A New Testament comes out of my experience talking to a wide range of people about the new discoveries of early Christian documents that basically no one knows about. The origins of early Christianity have not been exactly what's in the existing New Testament. Rather, that there are a whole bunch of documents that have been discovered in the last 100 years. What's in a New Testament? First of all of the existing books of the New Testament as we have known it are in this book. But in addition, there are a number of new things that we have not had much of a chance to get to know before, like the Gospel of Mary Magdalene, the prayer of the Apostle Paul, the prayer of thanksgiving, the Odes of Solomon. There is in a New Testament a document called the Acts of Paul and Thecla, another letter in the name of Peter called the letter of Peter to Philip. The letter of Peter to Philip tells us the most important thing, that no matter what happens, is for people to teach and to heal. So how did we put together a New Testament? It was important for me that the decisions on what was going to be put in a New Testament was not made by me. There were a group of 19 spiritual leaders. We got together and studied for about 6 months, perhaps 50 of these newly discovered documents. And then in a council, these 19 leaders from around the country voted which books were most insightful, which books had the most to offer for a New Testament. And so, like many of the decisions of early Christianity, the decision of what goes into a New Testament was decided by what I would call a council of church.
That whole vision pushes us to the boundaries, and I think offers a new opportunity for radical inclusivity of all the ways that God can express God's self.
But there was something that spoke, and there was an engagement about that invited somebody into the text. And so that, for me, that was number one really on my list.
That it largely represents texts that were most anathemized by emerging orthodoxy, that stood the least chance of ever becoming part of an imperial Christian canon.
One I've advocated for in this group, which is the Acts of Paul and Thecla, which is this wonderful story about a woman whose faith leads her into ministry in ways that push against her family, push against her culture.
I truly, in my deepest or highest self, really want all of the religions to flourish and be their best selves.
But the letter of Peter to Philip talks about teaching and healing being the point, not suffering. It has arguably a strong case that by teaching and healing, one becomes active with God in the fulfillment of the creation of the world the way God originally intended it to be.
It should change the contours, the shape, the understanding of the New Testament we've always known about. So it makes the New Testament become new again.
Examining some of the texts that did not make it into the canon could be very meaningful to a church that's already saying, what are we about and how do we connect with the 21st century world?